No, the usual suspects.
Mitsu, sit down. So, thank you for everyone coming out here to this career fair. So this is like the first time we've done this, so please bear with it. But the whole point of this is so you guys can kind of open your minds to different careers and be a little bit more prepared for the future, because I came up with this because I didn't know what I was going to do in the future, how I was going to find a career to go into. But so I wanted to create this for other people who didn't know the exact same thing. I ask you guys to kind of keep an open mind to what you're listening to. It may not be a career that you are wanting to put your heart and soul into, but it can affect how you think about what you gotta prepare for. You gotta prepare for what kind of college you gotta go to, what career you want to do, what you're gonna major in, and it's kind of a lot, especially if you don't think about it before. So I just want to make sure you guys are kind of open to everybody, and then if I can ask for a speaker to come up for. So this is Mrs. Ichiho, and she's going to kind of give you a start to what you can expect, and then a background to herself and her career. And
come out here. Good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. Hi. No one's looking at me. They're all looking down. Okay, my name is Mrs. Ichiho, and I work in construction. Do I look like the kind that works in construction?
yes.
No. So when I was your age, I was really shy. I didn't like to talk to people. And something happened between the time I was 16 and the time that I'm now 39, that I'm so outgoing and really love people and like getting out there. So, you know, when you guys think about your career, you don't have to think about what your personality is today, because you guys are going to grow and develop into really wonderful young people. So, I just want to talk a little bit about being a working mom. You know, growing up, the only thing I knew is that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I knew I had to go to college, but I just wanted to stay at home and be a mom, because that's what my mom did, and so I figured that's what moms do. And even after I got married, when I had my kids, I was going to stay at home. Unfortunately, Mr. Ichiho said, no, you're going to keep working. So I was really nervous, because I thought, God, if I work, then my kids are going to be raised by other people, and they're probably going to turn out really awful. And how can I be a mom and work at the same time? So I want to tell you a working mom story. Because when I talk to all these women's groups, you know, they think that I might have everything together. I'm a super mom, and I'm a super worker, and everything's so pretty. So I'm just going to start with a little funny story. So I work a lot of hours. I get up, I'm probably gone by 6 in the morning, and I probably don't come home until 6 or 7 o'clock. And then I cook and get dinner on the table, and sometimes I have to travel for work. So I have this little girl, and she was in the 2nd grade, and I get dinner ready, we have dinner, and I clean up the kitchen, and then I have to pack because I'm leaving for Denver tomorrow. She goes, Mommy, I have to bring some broccoli to school tomorrow. And I said, broccoli? Why are you telling me now? And she goes, I don't know, I need broccoli. I said, I don't have any broccoli. Oh, we have broccoli for dinner. Here, hold on 1 second. And I went into the garbage can and I pulled out the broccoli that I was left over, and then I just left for Denver. Taking care of, Mr. Ichiho's taking care of her. I call home, I say, how's it going? What do you need the broccoli for? Well, Mommy, we're reading this book in school about the 3 perfect days. Did you guys ever read that story? What about it? I have to wear the broccoli around my neck. My poor little daughter's wearing garbage broccoli around her neck. So anyway, you just gotta do the best you can, and everybody, you know, survives it. She's fine. So anyway, okay, I'm a construction worker. I do construction management. I work for a company called Hensel Phelps Construction. It's a huge national company. My job title is called the operations manager, and what an operations manager is you start off, you're a field engineer, and you work your way up. I used to be a superintendent. I used to be out in the field in a hard hat with safety glasses and a vest and boots running work. And then I came back into the office. So now I'm in charge of project managers. And for my job, I have to go out and get work, bid on work, bring it in, and then make sure my teams are together to run the work. I do personnel, I do hiring, I do firing. My job is very broad, and I absolutely love it. I love every single day. I've been there for about 23 years. So my background is that I started out in architecture. I went to junior college first. There were 6 kids in my family. 4 of us were in college at the same time. My dad says, you guys are going to junior college because I'm not going to pay for all you guys to be in college at the same time. And there's a real stigma. I think I'm from Northern California. There's a real stigma of going to a junior college, but it was really a good way for me to get my education. So after 2 years at City College, I ended up going to Berkeley to study architecture. And you know what, you guys? I did not get into Berkeley. Okay, I applied there. It was the only school I applied to, and I didn't get in. I actually wanted to apply to USC. They had an architecture program there, and my dad said, I'm not paying the tuition, so don't waste my money on the application. I ripped it up, threw it out, and I just had one school to go to. So when I didn't get in, I'm like, Dad, I don't have any options. And he said, figure it out. So I got in the car, I drove to Berkeley, I went and I talked to the dean. I had actually been out there twice already because I wanted to talk to him about what it was going to take to get in. So I appealed it, and guess what? I got into the school. Okay, so my message there is, if at first you don't succeed, if you really want it, keep trying for it. So I went to Berkeley, graduated in architecture, and I worked as an architect for about 7 years. 2 years out of school, I just decided I didn't like living in Sacramento anymore because it was kind of boring. So I packed my car and I just drove to Seattle. I had $3,000 in the bank, and I said, that's good enough. Drove to Seattle, didn't have a job, went kind of touring the city, and I walked onto the UW campus and I said, oh my God, I love this school. I need to come to school here. Had no clue what I was going to study. As I was an architect and drawing details of how things were going to get put together, I had no clue what I was doing. I just asked the old guy next to me, how do you draw this? How does this get put together? And so I thought, I need to go out and do construction, find out how things are put together so I can come back and be a smarter architect. So I went back to UW, got my construction degree, and then that's when I started my construction career. After a couple of years, I just never went back to architecture, and it's been a really nice career for me. So that's how this little Chinese girl ends up on big construction projects. So the kind of things that I've got a chance to do, some of you guys know my projects. I spent 8 years at UC Irvine building research labs there. If you guys go to UC Irvine, you'll probably sit through some of my classrooms. I got to build Disney California Adventure, everywhere from Ariel's Grotto to the roller coaster to the Orange Stinger, all the way around to like the Corn Dog Castle over in that area. I've done a St. Regis down in Dana Point, and I'm currently in charge of all of our work at LAX. So my company is renovating Terminal 1 for Southwest Airlines, Terminal 7 and Terminal 8 for United Airlines. We did a Star Alliance Lounge in the Tom Bradley Terminal. We're going to do Terminal 1.5, which is going to be a new building in between 1 and 2. So it's probably about $1.3 billion worth of work. So we got about 120 people out there doing these projects. With my company, with all the subcontractors, there's probably over 1,000 people out there working under our umbrella. So pretty exciting, that's what I do. I just stumbled onto it, okay? Had no clue what I wanted to do when I started. When I was in architecture, they said, look around, only 1 out of every 3 of you are gonna be architects 10 years from now. And I said, not me, I'm gonna be the architect. And 10 years later, I was one of those that wasn't the architect. So you can start in one path and maybe end up shooting off into other things. And just be open, because life changes, okay? You find other things that are interesting to you. So I just want to talk about some of my successes and the difficulties. Actually, I only listed difficulties. So I felt like I stumbled onto my career. How many of you guys know what you guys want to do when you grow up? Okay, so those two guys, I always felt like they had one up on me. If you know what you want to do, it feels like everything comes so much easier than if you don't know what you want to do. But you know, just hang with it, something's going to come up. And I think that it's better not to just sit and look for an open door, something to fall in your lap. Just head in some direction that you enjoy, and doors will open and close as you're heading in down that path till, you know, you get 10 years out and you find yourself somewhere else. And I think some of the people here that are going to share with you are going to probably echo the same thing, that they did not intend on doing what they were doing. They just kind of ended up there, and they're probably happy for it. Some of the barriers, I chose a field of work that had no women in it. I started my career 35 years ago, and back then there were the, you know, naked pinup girls in people's toolboxes and just really bad things of how they looked at women. But I didn't even stop to think that this wasn't going to be a place for me. It just fit my personality, and I don't know, do you have to try harder? Yeah, but that's okay. Do you have to leave your comfort zone? Absolutely. I had to step out of my comfort zone because, you know, it's not very fun walking up to every meeting with a bunch of guys that look like they belong to a fraternity, and then you're the only minority, you're the only woman, and then you just have to sit at the table. Don't take the seat in the back. Just sit at the table and act like that you're the one that's supposed to be there, and people will start respecting you once they get to know you. Okay, so there are 100 paths to get to where you're eventually going to be. Okay, it's just not a straight line. It's like a whole tree of branches. And, you know, I'm going to say this in front of your parents, but my advice to you is make sure that your career fits who you are. Don't do this for your parents. Okay, there are so many people out there that are miserable with their careers because that's what their parents wanted them to do. Don't do it for your parents. This is what you need to do for your parents. Have their confidence. Put your best into whatever you're doing. Have goals. Find satisfaction in it. And get yourself independent. If you can do all those things, your parents will be happy. They'll be happy for you, and they'll be proud of you. You don't have to be the doctor. You don't have to be the lawyer. And for us parents, the best things that we can do is just to support our kids, okay? I know we get really nervous when our kids are really artistic and they want to be an artist. Like, oh, how are they going to support themselves? But there's a lot of ways to support yourself as an artist. There's a lot of ways to support yourself, no matter what your gifts are, no matter what your talents are. So, how do you choose your career? Some people just know. These two gentlemen here, they know, and you guys are so lucky. But you know what, for the ones that don't know, you should be excited about it because you get to explore. You get your whole schooling to explore. When you start college, you get the first 2 years to start exploring, and then even after you graduate in something, you still get to explore. Then, you know, fields like biology or political science or communications, if you study one of those things, there's a million things that you guys can do with those majors, but it's really finding your interest and then lighting the fire for that. What are your strengths? Are you analytical? Are you artistic? Are you good with people? Do you just like working by yourself? Those are the kind of things that you should be thinking about, to think about what your end career is going to be instead of just going straight to the career. Could I be a dentist? Do I want to be a lawyer? And there's so many professions out here that you don't even know about. You know, I've been asking people what they do, and you know, I'm in business. I work in chain supply. Who knows what that means? Nobody. Okay. So one of our speakers gets to tell you tonight. So as far as success goes, success isn't about being smart, and it's not just about getting good grades. I know all the kids in here. You guys, if you're not amazingly smart, you guys are smart enough. And to me, if you guys can get yourselves pretty good grades to get through school, go to college to learn how to learn how to be resourceful. But I think the real key here is leadership, teamwork, communication skills, and networking, okay? So I do recruiting, and I had this kid come up to me, and the way we do this recruiting, he didn't end up on my interview, and he kind of caught me at the coffee, and he says, "Hi, Mrs. Ichiho, my name is Ted, and I was told that I really need to meet you, and I was excited, and I just want to make sure I got to meet you." And I was so impressed with this kid just because he stepped out and looked for me, and then when we got into the round robin to talk about these kids, I looked at his GPA and I said, "Really? He has a 2.3? But when we were all done, because of his personality, everybody gave him the thumbs up, and we hired him. Because it wasn't about his GPA, because what we do at work, we're not designing rockets, we're not building rockets, we're building buildings, and you don't have to be that smart. But you have to have good communication skills, you have to be a good team player, and you have to want to work hard. So, if you find yourself there, it's a good place to be. I'm going to do one more thing for you guys, and can I get some help passing these out? In all my years of working, I think this paper is the key. And I read this on the internet, and I just want to share it with you. And these are the 10 qualities that all successful people share, and they have nothing to do with talent. And I want you guys to take this home, and I want you guys to rate yourself from 1 to 10 on all of these things. And then the goal is to get to 10 in every single category, okay? Being on time, that's really important, okay? Work ethic, effort, body language, energy, attitude, passion, being coachable, doing extra, and being prepared. Those are 10 really simple things that every single one of you kids could be a number 10 at. And if you guys can do that, you guys are going to be great employees. I added 2 more, just because I think they're important. And that is dress the part, okay? Come to work, come to wherever you are, dress the part. I work on a construction site, and these guys come in with their baseball caps turned backwards. I stop them at the door and say, "Take your baseball caps off." And then the last one is keep your phone in your pocket. Do you guys know what that means? So I had this kid come to work. He wanted an internship, and he was the only, no one in his family had gone to college, and he wanted this job so bad. And the kid came in, and he was given a chance. He worked for us for 3 months, and every time I walked by his desk, he had his phone out, and he was either texting or doing something on his phone. But that's not working. Our work does not require you to be 2 thumbs on your phone. And so I talked to him about it. Time goes on, still every time I walk by, he had his fingers on his phone. So after 2 months, I said, "Thank you very much. We're going to move on." And he says, "I want this job so bad. What happened?" It was about the phone. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't invested in what we're doing and what we're trying to teach him. So I want to leave you with this list. They're really simple. Rate yourself today, and then rate yourself again 6 months from now. And really work on these things. You guys are going to make yourself really valuable for somebody. That's all I have. Do you have any questions? No questions?